Hi guys, my name is Annette, and in this episode of Food Stories I'm going to be showing you how to make a super delicious lemon meringue tart. It is not one of the easiest cakes you can make, and I gotta tell you, I did a lot of research before I started this video, but I never actually made it before. And I just wanted to show you how literally the process is going when you have no actual experience. But let's get to it. First of all, we're going to be starting with our dough because it needs to be resting 1 hour in the fridge. So what I have done already is that I measured 120, I think so, I'm gonna link the recipe below, 120 grams of plain flour, and I added 13 grams of powdered sugar, a pinch of salt, and then we're just going to work our way through it. So first of all, I'm going to be working with a fork, but if you have a food processor, use that because then it's just easy to get that dough really fast without any extra work or energy, which is nice. So when you just want to mix the flour and the sugar and the salt, and then you're just gonna be adding your butter, which is 120 grams. So I think the flour is actually 150. And you just want to have it as cool as possible, and you just dice it in cubes. And I'm gonna add the whole thing. And now you just want to combine the flour with your butter to have a nice consistency. Now when it came together to one consistency, I'm just gonna flour this cutting board a little bit. I'm just gonna turn this out there so I can work it a little bit with my hands. There we go. A little bit of flour on your hands. This is a super soft dough, and you don't want to overwork it, and you also don't want to add too much flour. Here we go. So actually, I'm gonna stop now. This is your bowl, and now you just wanna wrap this up and then put it in your fridge for 1 hour before we can bake it. Alright, so now our dough has been resting for 1 hour in the fridge, and now it's time to roll it out. I'm just going to flour my surface a little bit more. There we go, and then you can unwrap it and just place it on your working surface, whatever you use. I'm gonna put a little bit on my rolling pin. There we go. And then you just want to roll it into a round shape. Normally you would bake it in a tart form, but I don't have that, so I'm just gonna bake it in a basic cake form. So you want to have, like that kind of size. You want to make sure that it's not too thick, but also not too thin. So just go with something nice. And now you just want to roll it onto your baking form. Here we go. And now you can just, patch it up as much as you have to get, a nice dough crust. Alright, so now our dough is in the form. You just want to poke some holes with a fork where the steam can come out. But we are going to blind bake it, which means we're going to put baking sheet on top and some dried beans or rice or baking beans, whatever you have. So before we do that, we're just gonna put it in the freezer for half an hour, because now it has come to room temperature and you just wanna make sure that it's firm and cold before you put it in the oven. Alright, so now our dough has been resting in the freezer for half an hour. So now I'm just gonna put a parchment paper on the top. And then you wanna use, as I said, something to weigh it. I only have rice, so I'm going to just put that on top. Perfect. So now I just want to put it in the oven. It's preheated to 175 degrees, and you want to bake this for about 30-35 minutes until the crust is golden brown. Alright, so now we're going to be making the filling, the lemon curd. You want to start with adding 6 egg yolks to a large bowl, together with 35 grams of cornstarch and a pinch of salt. And you just want to whisk everything together without making a mess. And you just want to make, oh my gosh, just want to make sure that everything's combined and you get a light, fluffy texture. Yes, here we go. That's what you want to get. And now, what I'm going to be doing is, in a saucepan outside of my kitchen, I'm going to be heating sugar and water together until the sugar gets dissolved. And then we're going to slowly pour it into our egg mixture to just temper it. Alright, now our sugar has dissolved in the water, so we're going to be adding it to our egg yolk mix. You just want to make sure that you add the first bit really slowly in a small portion, because otherwise you're just going to scramble your eggs. And you also just want to make sure that you're whisking it continuously. So yeah. And now that the egg is tempered, you can go in bigger portions. And now you just need to add this mixture back to the saucepan and bring it to like a low heat, so it just starts boiling and it's going to be thickening up. After that happened, we're going to be adding a lemon juice together with the lemon zest and 30 grams of butter. Alright, now our mixture is thickened up very well. It looks beautiful. Now you just want to add your lemon juice together with the lemon zest. Whisk it all together. And you also want to add your butter. Here we go. It's a beautiful, creamy, silky lemon curd you have here now. And don't worry that it looks still a little bit too runny. We're gonna put it into the fridge after we put it in there. Pour it into the crust, and it's just gonna settle up there. That's all good. Now we're going to be getting our pie crust because it's out of the oven, and we're just gonna pour this into it. Alright guys, so now the pie crust is out of the oven. It looks beautiful. It looks golden brown on the edges, and it looks super flaky and delicious. It's super hot, so don't touch it. And now all we're gonna do is to just pour our lemon curd filling into our crust, and then we're gonna put it in the fridge while we're going to be making the, what is it called? Meringue. Yes. Just make sure that your filling is all even and just covering the bottom of the crust completely. It looks so good. Okay, so now into the fridge, and then we're going to be making our meringue. So now we're going to be making our meringue, and you want to start by combining your sugar, which is 300 grams of sugar. It's a shitload of sugar, but it's gonna make it delicious. You just want to add a third cup of water, which is around 80 milliliters, and you want to bring it to a boil. After it has been boiling, just reduce the heat to a low heat, and you are going to be keep it on the heat and whisking it for about 3 to 5 minutes until you get like a syrupy texture, and that's when we are going to be continuing. Alright, so now I just made this syrup that we're going to be adding to our meringue, and it has slightly cooled a little bit. Our tart is also ready and it's looking marvelous. It has cooled a little bit and it's settled a little bit. Now we're just going to be assembling the meringue. So you want to start with 4 egg whites, and you want to make sure that in these 4 egg whites you have nothing else but the egg whites. You cannot have any little piece of yolk or the eggshell or anything, because otherwise your meringue is not going to be working. So I'm going to be adding it to my mixer bowl. And then what you normally need to be using is cream of tartar, but I don't have any of that and I never even heard of it. So they suggested to be using a little bit of lemon juice. So it's about like half a teaspoon that I'm using, and it's just helping like settling your meringue. Now what you want to do is using your hand mixer or your kitchen machine, the stand mixer, and you want to beat this until you have soft peaks, and that's when we're going to be adding slowly our sugar syrup. Right now soft peaks has formulated, so I'm going to be adding my sugar syrup in like a pretty steady stream, and you go back to that high heat again. Alright, well, this one's looking good. Now I can see how the peak or like the fluff is just standing out. This is how you know it's ready. So I'm just carefully gonna get rid of that. And now I just got a spoon and I'm going to be spooning it onto my tart. So you can go full on perfectionist and professional on this and just pipe it from a bag, but I just like the little bit more rustic, a little bit more just unique look how it looks when you just spoon it on. Oh, this is so fun. I love this. All that silky sugar. Wowza. Oh, I mean, look at that. How nice. This is how I imagine heaven. So beautiful. So now you just want to even it out, and you want to make sure that it's going until the edges, because that's how it's just gonna like stick together. And when you take a slice, it's not like the top is just going to like, you know, slide off the lemon curd, but it's gonna stay together. You want to make these what is it called, like swirls, because after this we're going to be put it in the oven onto the broiler, under the broiler, and these swirls are just gonna get hopefully a nice golden brown, semi-brown, beautiful color. Okay, I'm gonna stop now. I think it looks really good. And now all you want to do is to just put it into the oven under the broiler, which I preheated, and it's supposed to be happening really fast, like 30 seconds to 1 minute. I'm just gonna be keeping an eye on it because I want to make sure that I don't burn it. And ooh! Alright guys, this is just out of the oven. I let it cool like for a couple of minutes so it's not super hot or anything. I think this was a success, but it's super stressful because you just gotta be watching it all the time. And it's about a minute or two that it happens, but the first, 45 seconds you actually don't see anything, and then immediately it's just gonna turn into brown, and you gotta be careful not to burn it. I would highly recommend to get, a torch if you can. I think I'm also going to be investing in one soon, but this is also working pretty well. So now let's take a slice. I am so excited. I may or may not tasted the meringue before, and it tastes amazing. So I'm just gonna cut a slice. Wow. The crust is so crumbly and flaky, and the meringue is just super soft. I'm so excited. Okay, I think I got it through, but let's see. Oh, hello. I didn't see it actually. Wow, there's a lot of meringue. Oh, I love meringue. Oh my gosh, it looks so good. Like, look at that thick slice of meringue, and then we have the delicious lemon curd and a thin pastry on the bottom. I'm eating my hair. So now I'm just gonna take a bite because I honestly cannot wait. Oh my gosh. This is the best. This is such a great dessert. This is such a showstopper. If you have some friends coming around, then this is the perfect dessert. It's super delicious, not too complicated. You can make it the night before, and it's just gonna stand in the fridge and stay fresh and good. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed it, guys. I will see you next week. Bye.